And here we are at the news desk. I feel like it's so funny coming to here, where it's like the other scenes are so decorated, and then we're back here, and it's just like, eh. I still have this pumpkin on my desk from Halloween. I need to get rid of this thing. It's so rotted. Live from Palico Land, Indiana, USA. It's Daimono with the gaming news. Thank you, Selvers. Glad I have my own little intro. I should come up with a better intro and stuff like that, but I'm not, as much as I'm doing this as it is, I don't know how much level of presentation you guys would like for something like this. I think it being more introducing you guys to some information is a bit more fun than me going very, very like paper clack on desk talking about it. But maybe we should, I don't know. As you know, I'm pretty ad hoc. Let's jump into the news, shall we? So, post-Christmas news. Usually it's not too busy. Usually right at the end of the year, like right at the very end of the year, which is where we're sort of sitting, it sort of slows down a bit, and then it'll pick up into January as we get more stuff. But a few things did happen this week that were sort of interesting and sort of noteworthy. So let's jump in, shall we? Start off something weird was China introduces a new age rating system. So China's already had one, but it was pretty minor. Like it was actually quite restrictive in a lot of ways. Like it was pretty much you had like children, adult, and in between sort of thing, and that was about it. But now they've actually started separating things to be closer to more like the PEGI system, and yeah, it's probably a good thing. What? I didn't realize this. The new age rating system is revised 41 times before being agreed on. But yeah, like this is just a good thing. I honestly, as much as it might suck that you have sort of like these sort of restrictions on aims between certain areas and things getting rated in particular fashions and things like that, it is good these exist. China, they're a funny one because they could just introduce it in a very strange way, but it's still a good thing. The fact that this is one of those things that they are proving that they would like to move forward with the games industry and have things in their country actually flourish and have not explode because of terrible thing gets happened or something like that. So it's cool. I'm totally down for this, and we'll see how China goes with all that. Saying no Say No More has been delayed till... is that really how it's titled? Say No More? I thought it was saying more no or something. Whatever. Anyway, it's been delayed till spring 2021. This looks like a fun indie game. Basically, it's like a weird office shooter where you basically... you say no. That's your weapon. Giving you the ability to say no. It's very cute looking. I actually really like this art style.
Make me coffee. Copy these papers. Bad hair day alert.
So yeah, if you haven't seen this game, a pretty cute sort of indie game. I kind of want to see this finished, so it being delayed, totally fine. Like there's no rush for a game like this to come out, like other than just what the dev team need to do financially and stuff. So it just looks kind of fun. It's just very quirky, very silly. It's the power of no. Do you know the power of no? Say no more. Say no more. I guess I understand the title. It's just I didn't realize it was actually called that. I thought it was just called Say More No or Say No More. I don't know. CD Projekt pledges to help refund retail copies for Cyberpunk 2077. So, yeah. This is one of those things. Cyberpunk has said this post both Microsoft and Sony making a requirement that they had to refund it. I believe Steam is as well. Steam already has built-in stuff to deal with it better. But yeah, so CD Projekt pretty much had to be back against the wall to say, yes, we need to refund people for this thing. Second part to that being that Sony has pulled it from the stores. Microsoft has not. I wouldn't say that necessarily the game should be pulled from Steam, but it should be pulled from the consoles because that's in a pretty appalling state. The game is almost unplayable for some players and stuff like that, and the bugs are just there's so many bugs, there's so many problems. It just can't continue. So, yeah, that's happening. So if you missed this, Miyamoto. Mario's dad. I don't know why this is now being a coined term that's everywhere. And I know that, like, Miyamoto started doing it himself as well. Like, that's a bit weird. But Shigeru Miyamoto has showed off the Super Nintendo World. So this is a theme park similar to the sort of ones just basically Universal ones. This is Universal Studios Japan. They usually have some pretty big out there displays, and one sector of it generally rotates. But it seems like one section is not rotating as to what it'll be anymore. And it is straight up, wow, look at how much extra stuff it was at the start for the intro. But yeah, pretty much, so you can have a little guided tour with Miyamoto himself, him explaining the Super Nintendo world. It looks pretty cool, pretty colorful. It actually looks really good quality. I don't know how much how boring it would be as an adult to go through something like this. It looks cool, but once you've done it, you've done it, I feel like. But one thing is that this is a interesting time for this to come out because the fact that COVID is still a thing and it's heavy. So it's like, I think it was a really bad timing for Nintendo and Universal for this to come about, but it's still pretty cool. I think it'll have some fun things. If you're a kid or you have a kid, or you're a kid at heart, I feel like definitely if you're in Japan, this will be worth going and visiting. However, there is a likelihood that it will probably come over to the West with how popular this will very likely be. So the other Universals around the world will probably have this, a version of this at least. So yeah. And there's lots of interactables, so he just demonstrated, and this is why people are talking about with COVID and stuff, not just the fact that it's you walking around and being around other people, is that you get like physical objects that you can interact and touch, and you get that little watch thing that interacts with things. There's lots of fun things, so if you're interested in this sort of thing, maybe go check out the video in full. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I totally would be down to go to somewhere like this. No More Heroes PC and No More Heroes 1 and 2 PC ports have been rated by ESRB. So we just had the release of No More Heroes 1 and 2 for Switch, which is fucking amazing. Those games are really, really good. I really kind of want to get them so we can play them on stream. I really, really do enjoy those games. But yes, we will probably see those games on PC, and I think that would be a decent place for them to be. They work fine on controller. I assume they'd be fine on mouse and keyboard or whatever. But yeah, and the ports that their team, who is even porting this? Actually, is a good point, because do they actually have the team name? I can't see them saying a team specifically for doing the ports. However, Grasshopper manufacture these video games. These games are made by Grasshopper, which is Square's team. Them going over to Nintendo, that makes sense. They've worked with Nintendo for a long time, but they've got ports on the PCs. I believe they probably did the ports themselves, and they're very good ports. So these are probably good buys as well. But yeah, keep an eye out for them. Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel announced for Switch. We're getting another Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. I think this is a little weird that we're getting another one, in a sense. So this was announced alongside Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime. So we don't know if this is tied into the new 7's anime, whatever the new mechanics are to that. I do know there's some new mechanics coming in with that. But yeah, Rush Duel will be sort of in between Duel Links and standard Yu-Gi-Oh dueling, so it'll be kind of more you can summon lots of monsters faster and stuff like that. So I really have no idea how this is played. I think this is just pretty much you have like hand burn decks, like you just chuck everything you want on the board. And I mean, I'll be honest, that's not too dissimilar to how normal Yu-Gi-Oh currently plays, but it feels like you will not have a dead hand ever if you're playing that style. So yeah, if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, this might be a fun thing to pick up, but as it's on the Nintendo Switch, it will probably be very expensive. So yeah. Dragon Ball FighterZ DLC character Baby, Super Baby, and Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4, has been announced. So I pretty much have stopped playing Fighters. I got pretty burned out on that game. It wasn't super duper my thing, just with how its playstyle was. But they've had a good amount of DLC characters, like a shit ton of DLC characters, I'll rephrase. A lot of them Goku. The meme of the entire roster is Goku is very real. Most of the roster is Goku. This is actually, Super Baby actually never becomes Goku, ironically. This is Vegeta, I believe. I think this is baby version Vegeta. Anyway, because he can turn into the gold monkey as well, so yeah, it'd be Vegeta. And you have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Super Saiyajin 4 Gogeta. I fucking love Gogeta's design. I still think that he is the best thing that came out of I honestly think he's the best thing that came out of GT. GT is like not an amazing series. It's fun. There's some fun elements about it. It's a weird pick for Baby. Because Baby is not the final antagonist. Baby is like the main flow-through villain up until I'd say the midpoint or towards the end of it. I feel like he's canonically the main villain, but basically his thing is he steals people, can mind controls people, and he takes their powers, versus Omega Shenron, who is a evil Shenron who is extremely powerful and has been in almost every fighting game. Whenever Super Saiyan 4 is included. So it's weird to have SS4 and not have Omega Shenron. It's just very strange. Weirdly enough, we had Kid Goku also is not Kid Goku from Dragon Ball, it's Kid Goku from GT. So like we already had one GT character, and now we've got like these two other ones. But yeah, I mean, I'll watch the trailer. They're not too long, I don't believe. Skip through the intro sequence. Super Baby 2. So if you guys don't know, Baby goes through multiple forms and he takes like multiple people's powers and things like that. He's just inhabited Vegeta's body, I think, at this point in the story. And Kid Goku does fight him, and Kid Goku, if you guys don't know GT, it's very confusing. In GT, Goku gets wished to be made into a child, so he loses all of his power because he can't be killed by Shenron. And to defy that, at some point, Goku becomes so powerful during it that he uses the Ozaru, the Golden Ozaru, big old monkey, to push beyond the limits. But Baby never goes beyond those limits. He just becomes Gold Ozaru. Little bit of DBZ lore shoved in here. But yeah, the game still looks fucking amazing. Arxis is really, really good. And we have some Arxis news that just dropped. So we'll talk more after this. But Yojan. There he is, it's your boy. Super Gogeta. He's pretty cool looking. I really love that design. Hey Al, how you going? Welcome to stream. Monster Hunter movie makes 2.2 million US in its opening weekend. Now that might sound like a lot of money. That is not a lot of money. That in fact is almost losing money. I feel like I think they may have actually made their money back now. But yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty abysmal. And you guys know that I was not fond on this film, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to see it. I actually feel more comfortable seeing it now because I know that it fails. It's failed to meet its margin. But yeah, this movie has done appallingly bad. And they've got a comparison here. Here we go. Subdued start compared to this year's other video game movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, which took 57 million in its US opening weekend. So yeah, it was kind of a bad situation for them. Hey Chris, hey NC, how you going? 2.2 is enough to make it an argument for a sequel, not a guaranteed sequel. I don't even... If you tell me that, Al, that makes me worried, but I don't think there will be a sequel. I can't imagine it. Really, so the fact that this movie will not be airing in China, I think is pretty much it's dead in the water. The fact that I don't think Japan are too keen on it because it's got American military in it, I don't think that it'll do well. This is a movie that they have pretty much fucked up in every regard, and yeah, I think it's one of those things. I feel more comfortable seeing it now, maybe because of that, but I'm in no rush, that's for sure. So yeah, this is the Monster Hunter movie, NC. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it, and I'll let you guys know if I do end up seeing it. It might be one of those things I might see for New Year's with mates. But yeah. You've seen the trailers for the movie? Ironically, if you've seen the trailers, apparently from reviews and how people have talked about it, those trailers are the movie. They've pretty much shown everything that's in the movie that's a talking point. Literally nothing happens that's different to what's in the trailers. So that's this kind of movie. I know that might be a bit spoilery, but they've pretty much spoiled it. So yeah. I saw one trailer. You pretty much have seen probably the movie then, Chris. It's not great. I had no faith in this movie and it hasn't done well, so yeah. Slightly a second grilled cheese. Dang, grilled cheese. Oh, I'm still full from lunch. Stardew Valley 1.5 PC update is already here. So Stardew Valley, very, very good indie game. I enjoyed it, solo play. Multiplayer, I didn't really enjoy it as much. But 1.5 looks like it adds quite a lot of stuff. So if you are a Stardew fan, like just a good example is if you know the Stardew map, this is crazy. What we're looking at here is pretty freaking crazy. That's a lot of room we get given. So yeah. But you want to play it for date nights? That'd be a good one. I think that one's a good to do with your partner and stuff. I think it's just a fun, cute game to play with someone close. But yeah, the next paragraph will contain spoilers. We won't look at that. But yeah, there's a whole heap of updates. So if you're excited for more Stardew, definitely return to it after this patch comes out. But yeah. Oh gosh. All right, we're here. I didn't really want to... This is one of those topics that I find hard to talk about, and I don't really know how much I want to talk about it. So, the US COVID relief bill would punish streaming of copyrighted content. This is fucked. I hate this. This is just appalling. This is just... I really do not like how American politics, how legislation and all that stuff works. It makes me very upset. This in particular is very egregious. This is something that also both sides are very, very unhappy about. So, this is something that happens sometimes, particularly with American law, where certain bills are pushed through, but rather than it being a singular bill, it is a collection of identities in a bill to push forward a series of things to prevent it from either pushing forward or to sneak things through on another bill. This is one of both. This is, they've put something in there that's either going to tick people off enough that they can try and get involved and force certain things, or it's something to try and prevent the bill from going forward in the first place. This is so fucked, because this is something where it is sneaking this through means that some sect of corporations have gotten involved on a political level and gone and invested on them pushing this bill forward like this. This is very gross. This is a particularly awful thing that's happened, and it went through. Just to make it clear, this went through, and this is very bad. So to clarify what this is, essentially is streaming copyrighted content can now have you be fined. This is not great. So this is something that can impact people, say, streaming on YouTube or Twitch. It can target people on other platforms, so like Dailymotion and things like that. The fact that it can target companies outside of America. They even tried to, there might even be stuff that tries to push outside of America just in terms of individuals being done. The fact that they've said here also is that it can also lead you up to a 10-year prison sentence is insanity. Most of this stuff, however, as much as I have now talked this up, there is a caveat to this sort of thing as well. So this stuff is not the first time we've seen things of this nature get pulled for, not specifically this, but things of this nature. But because of the fact that it got pushed through on a bill in such a sneaky way, means that it is grounds for being removed as well. So we will see what happens. I feel like don't be too freaked out by this, and the fact that they do not, this law is not clear enough. The entire document does not specify nowhere near clearly enough for digital law for it to be held accountable in court enough, but we will see. It is one of those things that this will definitely be a case of either they will have to take trial and error cases till they figure out where the happy ground is, and then being like, this is what actually the law is, and amend it and change it, or it will get walked back, which is probably the more likely one, because it will be so insane to try and keep it going in the format of being very open as it is, because it could just, you're going to have big companies come after them and not be happy, including Google and Apple and Microsoft and anyone that's doing cloud services right now as well. Like, there's a lot of things that this could impede. So they are probably very unhappy about this going through. And I do wonder who actually encouraged this to go through. But yeah. The Stadia guy had some fucking knowledge, dude. The governor that pushed the bill was paid up by multiple music corporations. Pretty much. That was pretty much where I was wondering where it was. And that makes sense to me, Al. Because I haven't looked into this more, but hearing this and seeing this, it's sort of like, this is a very disgusting and sneaky thing that's gone through. And yeah, corporations are not your friend. Just to make that clear. Particularly ones in the music industry, unfortunately. But we will see where this goes. I think this is something that you shouldn't be too worried about if you're a person like myself, who's a streamer. Because of the fact that they are not going to act upon these anytime soon, I do believe. They will target very specific ones and bigger ones, but the idea that they would even try and do targeted attacks on anyone at this stage would be insane. The law is not clear enough, is the biggest thing here. It does not work. And I think Digital Law Foundation would probably start standing up for this. But we'll see. Oh my gosh. This was such a crazy thing to read. And it happened so quickly. Just to be clear, this happened so quickly. And this is why it's really, really gross. And this stuff's not good. Having bills passed with extra stuff just to get it through faster is something that the US just drives me a little bonkers to read. Now, I think this won't necessarily impact people like myself, being from Australia, very hard, but there will be platforms. Just to make clear, most platforms and big company platforms for digital media are mostly based in America. So there is a high chance that a lot of that stuff will impact globally. Like, this is now a global issue. As much as I would hate to admit it, this is a global issue, but individuals in other countries and some smaller corporations, I think, will not be impacted by it, unless they're using American services. So, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. God. I know quite a few streamers I saw were very up in arms about it and not happy, and there's a lot of stuff where it was sort of like a little scary, all that sort of thing, and it's like, yes, that's true. But I think definitely as time goes on, we'll find what actually is the reality of this situation. So right now, I think just stay a bit chill. It's okay. It's just be angry, get involved. If you have some sort of influence, you should get involved. If you are a type of person that can actually reach out to you, whomever, to put your word in for you, go do that. But yeah, it's if you can't, then just sit tight. I don't think it'll go apocalypse levels crazy. So all right, let's keep going. In retrospect, we've got here is video games very good, video games very big, video games grow big, many things. I've talked about this in the past few weeks because we've been getting a lot of numbers and stuff like that. But as a collection, we do have a nice little graph by gamesindustry.biz that shows a breakdown of sales of the games industry and where we're currently at, which is always fun to see in my opinion, because it allows a good nice like slice of like how we're going. But yeah, end of the world, break the establishment. We need to sometimes, I'll be honest. Al, fight back, you've got power, as much as it might not seem like it. Mobile took 8.3. So total revenue collected over the entire year through all games industry is 1.7 not 1.7, $174 billion, almost $175 billion, which is up 20%, which is a fuck ton. 20% is a lot. Where we had a breakdown of 86 billion, which for mobile, which you can see makes up 50%. That includes like gacha and stuff like that. So like Genshin Impact probably had a very big impact on that. Tablet games only did 6%. You can see tablets aren't, like, most people have phones basically. Smartphone games. So this is the smartphone game. So this is mobile apps. So this is mobile devices, mobile apps, which includes these. So that's like smartphones, tablets, all that sort of thing. PC browser games, PC games, 33.37 million, 22%. Console, 30%. So console still makes a significant chunk, as much as it might seem crazy. And it's still bizarre to me that mobile does most of the money making. 30% still very, very strong. And that's why, like, when people are like, oh, the console industry is going to die out and it's not going to exist. Consoles have never been stronger, I'll be honest. This year has just made the most amount of money. So mobile is honestly a bigger market that most people don't give enough credit. I think it's the opposite, Al. I think people currently give it too much credit because its boon it's just stayed constant. It's not spiking or going down. It's just staying this constant uphill, and it's very strong. Like, it's just never going to stop being strong because it's the most accessible market easily. But it's really not. In some way, there's a lot of areas where it's considered gaming, but it's not really a gaming platform in terms of like what games people are actually putting money into. However, console has always been, in the past, I want to say 5 years, people have been talking about how the death of the console market will be coming, and it's inevitable. And it's like, I do not believe that for one moment. I do not believe PC is now being stronger than ever. Console is becoming strong again, especially with the new generation coming. I do not believe that they're going anywhere ever. So, and these numbers look right to me. Like, I think that 30%, I think that you could have it maybe 40% be console, but really it's these two, this margin here will be bouncing backwards and forth for eternity, I feel like. But PC will definitely be growing. So really, this will change over time. But yeah, but it's a lot of money. It's a shit ton of money. It's a stupid ton amount of money. And this is where it's sort of that thing of where we talk about like media stuff, where it's like the music industry versus the movie industry versus the oh my god, thank you for the follow, Chuckfish. But yeah, Chuckfish, my headphones are broken so I can't hear you anyways. Have a follow, and try to thank you for the text, and try to do a text thank you in God, I can't talk right now. I thank you in text language. Thank you, Chokefish. I don't know if you can hear me. I can't type right now. But yeah, I have just been reminded that I do want to put a text-to-speech functionality into, or on-screen text for people who can't read, can't hear me properly, and I think that would be really good. Text on screen. I'll write that down because I keep forgetting to write that down because of population stuff. It's pretty much because of the Chinese market with movies, because countries like China and Japan are more likely invested into mobile games. That's definitely true. I think it's also the casual market has definitely shifted from being more console orientated to phone orientated. Gacha and all that sort of stuff, and pay to win methods have shifted away from being more browser focused, which was very big in China, small applets. China and Korea liked a lot of those games, but they've shifted away from that, and that's more now being a focus of mobile in those countries. So yeah. Also, having an all-in-one device such as a mobile phone versus an entire PC, which is expensive and is less likely for people to have in their homes now, is definitely something that plays a part as well. So yeah, a lot of this makes sense. A lot of these things, if you follow the industry and have been following it for a few years, like these numbers make sense, and it's just comfortable to see them sort of stabilize, and this is what it is, because the growth of mobile terrified everyone. People were so negative against what was happening in terms of like what would happen to the industry, because oh yeah, mobile's just going to take all of it, it's going to be 90% mobile, and it's like, I don't know if you're looking at this in an almost rational sense, so we'll see. Also, thank you for the host, Al, I appreciate it. But yeah, so then they have a further breakdown, which I won't go into. This is digital versus boxed. As you can probably realize, digital is very much taking over, and that's just kind of the standard of the thing. Mom and pop stores will really be the type of thing that will struggle over the next, like, I want to say 5 years, 10 years. They're already struggling right now, but they will probably continue until they find their happy medium and they go back to being almost niche stores. It'll be pretty much the situation where your local like board game sort of or tabletop store, that's what a video game store will go back to being, that they will be back to the niche nature. You will very much see places like Walmart and all that sort of stuff having games and having like just consoles and stuff, but you're pretty much not going to see like actual just video game stores too commonly now, I don't think, because people just don't want the physical anymore. It's just the simple nature of it all. Online services are just that good and are that accessible. So. As for best games sold in the UK, because if you don't know, Games Industry Up is a UK-based website. So they've started with the UK sales, and we usually get them pretty clearly. The UK sales are pretty clear. By units, by revenue, but we'll just go from the top. So FIFA, Animal Crossing, Call of Duty versus Mario Kart, Minecraft versus Mario Kart, Call of Duty Black Ops, and Assassin's Creed. I won't go all the way through. US was Call of Duty, Animal Crossing, Madden, Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy, Marvels, which is crazy to me, and Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which also is weird. But shooters, sports, family. That's pretty much what you'll see in a lot of these categories, and that'll be the pretty standard across it. But yeah. Sorry, I just had a sneeze. Metacritic? I might have a quick drink. I don't know if I've been in an EB game since I moved to Melbourne. No disk drive in my PC either. Really, CJ? I've actually got no disk drive in mine either. I actually have a separate disk thing up the top here, just if I need it for older stuff. And then I did get the disc version of the PS5, mostly because I have disc PS4 games, and if something really happened and I needed a PS5 game. I'm shocked that Cold War did so well. I mean, that's the thing though, Al. It's just Call of Duty sells. People want their shooters. I feel like that's always going to be on top, unfortunately. Like, shooters are good, but they're kind of samey. But that's just kind of what people want. People want their like comfortable games. Like Animal Crossing doing so well is just still crazy to me. The fact they outdid like Last of Us and Madden, pretty fucking crazy. Animal Crossing was big, like crazy big. It's hard to stress just how big it was. Like it was going to do well, but not as well as it actually did. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Highest rated game. I'd like to point out, guys, highest rated game. So notice Persona 5 did not make it into any of the lists here. The highest rated game on Metacritic, a JRPG, Persona 5 Royale. Fans fucking love Persona. It's a very good game. I still haven't played Royal, but I really want to. The lowest rated game, Tiny Racer. I don't know if that's really worth talking about. If it's something small, I don't know if that's really worth talking about. Or unless you want to go gift someone that the shittiest game of the year. Go gift someone the shittiest game of the year, just for the lols. New IP, new releases. So this is old IPs, new IPs versus new releases. So we actually had a lot of new releases, but you can see that the new IP margin, not fantastic. Activision actually did 0. So, yeah. Most Googled searches amongst games. Among Us, Fall Guys. So this is just generally easy for us to tell what was in the social zeitgeist. Fall Guys, Among Us, Valorant. Valorant surprised me. Genshin Impact, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, FIFA, Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing actually fell quite a bit. Call of Duty, so people don't really need to Google Call of Duty. Dragon Quest Walk. You done ranting? What do you mean, Nancy? I'm never done ranting. Covered games, Fortnite, Cyberpunk. So these are articles, by the way. So this is also a good way to tell as well. So this is Google search, and this is written articles. Most watched games on YouTube. This is always funny to me. Still Minecraft and Roblox. And I don't know what this is. I actually have been stumped by this. What is Garena Free Fire? What is this? What is this? What is this? Garena Free Fire. What is this? It's a free-to-play shooter. It's a battle royale on mobile. Who is it made by? Is this made by an Asian company? I don't know what this is. Publishers Garena. Oh, okay, all right. Answered, solved. Pretty much, it's just it's an Asian shoot. It's I don't even know. It says Singapore, but it's like very likely that's very big in Korea and stuff like that. Usually free shooters usually are. Yo, who did that Roblox concert? Someone did a Roblox concert? What? That one's pretty famous in Brazil, by the way. Really, Alex? I've never even heard of that game before. So, okay, so here's an interesting point. So, this is amongst all the games and related stuff and revenue and all those things. Things like this come about, which are these free-to-play ones. And there is actually one that I might talk about later in today's segment. But yes, that particular game is similar to a lot of other games that might come about, where there's free shooters that pop up, and they're extremely popular because in countries say as Brazil or China or Korea, Singapore, all those Southeast Asia ones, that they get given, that they want something as a cheap alternative, something to play with their friends, something that people can just jump into, and usually will run on the lowest end machines, the cheapest cheap box ever, which includes now mobile devices. And something like this is very, very good. Heaps of people play that thing. Really interesting. That makes sense to me, Alex, because I don't know Brazil has a tough time with getting games in, so it makes sense to me when sort of almost almost free open sourcey sort of games you get access to. Some rap artist? Really? That's crazy. Yeah, that's really funny. Does that mean they were trying to do the Fortnite thing, but they were doing it in Roblox? That's really funny. Roblox Piggy? Correct me if I'm wrong. I have no idea, and see, I have no idea about Roblox. All I know is it's mostly user-generated content. It's like a weird, almost children's Second Life, is what I know of it as. Grand Theft Auto, I can't believe people are still watching Grand Theft Auto and people watching Fortnite. These two bottom ones, still bizarre to me. But up the top, we have articles. So this is stuff that I mostly would have encountered because of the amount of articles I read. Fortnite's just forever. That's not going. No one's ever gonna never stop talking about that game because it's so much changing about it. So much money's made on it. All that sort of stuff. Cyberpunk, we already know why Cyberpunk's talked a lot. Last of Us is the biggest AAA game that's been made. Going to be talked about. Animal Crossing did crazy numbers. Going to be talked about. Destiny 2 had a weird, funny year, and it's an ongoing MMO. Going to be talked about. Minecraft's never going away. Grand Theft Auto, never going away. Still one of the biggest media sources ever of money, of income. Call of Duty, League of Legends, Doom Eternal. So yeah, it just sort of goes down. A lot of this is very logical. Top influencers. I don't know if I care too much about this, considering I'm involved in this community now. I guess I probably should care. But when you're that big, I sort of, you don't even enter my brain. I don't actually recognize any people. Question, do you guys recognize any of the names here? I don't know anyone here. I literally have no idea any of. One's just called Arab Games Network. Is it just he's an Arab, or is it a collective of Arab gamers? Yeah, I don't know any of these. There's one that's just called Jelly. How did he get this username? Destiny wouldn't have been talked too much if it wasn't for Beyond Light. Oh, okay. That was the expansion, wasn't it? They got rid of like 2 worlds. Oh, I remember that. I forgot about that, Al. Cyberpunk literally just came out, yeah. That sort of proves just how big Cyberpunk is, just in terms of like them talking about it for so long, and then the boom at the very end here. SS Sunny? Sunday? I want to say Sunday, but it's a Sunday. I don't know what a Sunday is. That throws me to... Oh, he's a Minecraft streamer. Never heard about them. I don't know any of these people. I think Felipe Nito, I think I recognize this name. There's the only one there that I think I recognize. This one's just a flamingo, and he's the top person. Question, why shouldn't PewDiePie be here? Isn't like PewDiePie like the biggest streamer? Is he not considered a gamer streamer maybe? I don't really know. I don't know, guys, I don't know. My boom is showing. Most discussed on Twitter, Final Fantasy 14. Oh yeah, that's where we live, baby, on the Twitters. Animal Crossing, Cyberpunk, Call of Duty, Fall Guys. Why is that? They should have used the blue rather than the red because it's a confusing color. Top trailers or top live streams. So this is like what are people watching on streams? People are watching Fortnite. People are watching Call of Duty. Mortal Kombat. That's surprising. Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot. That's also surprising. Top mobile market, I don't really care. Mobile. Ownership, I don't really care too much about that. But yeah, I feel like that's a pretty interesting breakdown. He isn't in Minecraft anymore? Oh, okay. I have no idea. You guys are going to have to teach me. Teach me the big people. So it was really funny when Taz got him not raided, she had an encounter with Moon, who was a famous Twitch streamer. I had no idea who that dude was, by the way. He's like a Souls streamer, and I've never even heard of him. And he has like 1 million followers. And it's like, fuck me, 1 million followers. That number boggles my mind. I cannot imagine 1 million people following. That's so mind-breaking. I know he builds up to it and he's got like a legacy and stuff, but it's still, some of those numbers get to a point where I'm like, this is just madness. Steam Winter Sales 2020 begins and discounts a lot of Japanese games. So, the winter sales here, yay, Steam. So if you guys have a PC and you have Steam, maybe go jump over and see if you got anything on sale that you might want to get, because Steam usually does pretty good sales. I've picked up a few things, 75% off to 90% off. But yeah, it's definitely definitely a good time to get games. The Christmas sales are usually the best ones for all year. And the way Steam works is the lowest price that a item has ever gone, the next time it is on sale, that is the price it needs to go to. So if you do see something at its lowest price, that will probably be the lowest price for a long time. Just FYI. So, like, Steam wants me to have games. Steam wants to you just flood you with games, to just give you way too many games. Yeah, go buy stuff. Be a consumer. Cyberpunk 2077 has sold over 13 million copies. Actually, mentioning Steam, also GOG and the Epic Games Store, and really, that was meant to be a talking point. It wasn't meant to be just talking about Steam. Nintendo's having their sales right now. Sony's having their Steams right now. I think that they're still on even post-Christmas. Xbox is having their sales. If you need games right now, definitely go look. If you've been waiting for stuff, maybe go check your wish lists and things like that. A good way to purchase games is actually just put stuff on your wish list and just keep an eye on it. And just, when it gets through like those ballpark ranges of like, yeah, I feel like this game is really quite worth this amount of money to me, that's when you can have those, like, yeah, maybe you pick it up. But if you're not purchasing things on day of release, you may as well wait it out. So. Cyberpunk has sold over 13 million. We're not done with talking about Cyberpunk, apparently. Despite everything, despite all the bad stuff that's happening and the amount of refunds, apparently, this is the thing that confuses me about these numbers, is they've made that amount of sales. Is that still including the numbers that have actually been returned and refunded? Because that's kind of fuzzy math. We're in a fuzzy math territory if that's actually the case. So don't really know what the case is, but we will know probably in about like a few months' time where where this game actually sits. But the nightmare continues. For those who don't know, the Smash Ultimate version 10.1 has been released. So Sephiroth is officially out now, which includes all the costumes, includes all the stickers, spirits, includes the extra battles, the challenge mode for Sephiroth. So if you wanted to do that challenge mode of the super hard Sephiroth, that's gone now. But you can get him just by having the DLC now. So yeah, he's really good. If you haven't played Sephiroth, he feels like top tier material. He is extremely strong. I can't wait to see what people think of him over the next few months. But yeah, I think unlike Steve, where once they figured out how to beat him, I don't think you can figure out Sephiroth. I think this boy is pretty fucking strong, and he will be a top contender. So you might want to learn how to fight him, you might want to learn how to play him. Sons of the Forest launches in 2021. I won't play the trailer of this, but if you know The Forest, this is actually quite interesting that they're actually giving it a sequel, and it is apparently a sequel. The way that the first one ends is very sort of, there's two ways the story goes, but the true ending essentially, I think, should have insinuated a cataclysmic event for the world. I don't know how this game continues, but yeah, The Forest was a very interesting horror game. It's a horror survival game that I think was quite well done. Like in indie form, they did very well as it came out, and added additional content and changed it all, and I think they got to a very, very good state, and I think it was worth playing. As much as I just watched everyone else play it, it's not my type of game to play, but I appreciate the fuck out of this game. So yeah, they're getting a sequel, which is pretty cool. Means that they did their money well as well. Right, so I didn't actually grab the other article versions of this, so I just grabbed the industry one. Bloodborne producer Teruyuki Horiyama is leaving Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan. So this is the guy who is or was in charge for producing the FromSoft IPs that were tied to Sony Studios. He was a pretty big guiding hand, and I think those titles are pretty beloved. The fact that we got Remake as well. Oh, I forgot about Soul Sacrifice. Shit. But yeah, so we will have to keep an eye out on what he does. Now, he's not necessarily a creative, and he didn't come up with these IPs, but he obviously is a very influential individual in the industry. So, curious what he'll be working on or where he'll be going. So, yeah. Pretty cool. Well, interesting, more or less. Yay, I get to talk about Nier. Nier chat. I love Nier chat. Oh my gosh, something is happening. Big Nuke, how you going, man? Oh shit, holy shit, everyone's here. You brought all the peeps. All the peeps for news time. You've actually come at a good time because we're most of the way through, we're most of the way through the news. And you missed me doing a couple of rants. But I do have a Cyberpunk rant for you all. How you all going? Hey Yonso. Hey Buddha Butter. Thank you for the follow. Also, Becca's Kawaii. But yeah, Lick Nuke. For those who are watching already, I'm assuming most of you know Lick Nuke already, but if you don't already follow him, he is legitimately one of the funniest guys on Twitch. He is very funny. My god, he's I said it the other day, he's got a living pog face. He's just living pog face. Merry Christmas to you too. Merry Christmas to all the Raiders. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday. Yeah. We're now winding down for Christmas. I'm still gonna have Christmas decorations up on the stream for the next few days. But yeah. You're a sleepy bee, Buddha. You're the living pog. You are. I can't, dude. Your expressions. I live for your expressions. But yeah, if you guys don't follow Lick Nuke, I really would appreciate you guys go check him out. You can see him in here, right? Himself. Apparently you played Donkey Kong at some point. What were you guys doing today? You were doing demons. Oh, you're doing more demons. How far through are you, man? Also, thank you for the host, Yonso, as well. We've just gotten through most of our news. I went on a big rant tirade earlier about the copyright streaming stuff. But don't worry, I got one more rant in me about CD Projekt. Well, it's not so much a rant, it's just we'll see what happens, I guess. But yeah, for now, Nier. I get to talk about Nier. I love talking about Nier. Automata shipments and top sales for the end of this year, which was announced during the Christmas stream that Yokotaro did. I haven't actually watched it yet. I'm looking forward to watching it. Which is 5 million units. That's a lot of peeps. That's a lot of mun. That's over double the amount that the Monster Hunter movie made. So, just to put into contrast. Which is pretty cool. People are into their Japanese RPG weird story made by Platinum Games. I'm totally down for all of those things. I fucking love the entire team that made that. Everyone who worked on Nier are amazing. And then I get to talk about more Nier because of this. Nier Reincarnation did get delayed. We got an announcement, which this is the mobile game, which I'm looking forward to as a story game. And it's going to be very simple, but I think it's going to be a little more engaging than, say, Sinnoh Alice. But Nier Reincarnation will actually be launching in February 18th. So the delay isn't actually too big. It's actually quite short. And they're doing a Nier Automata crossover immediately. They know that people want Automata content. This makes sense. They're doing the right thing. I really hope people enjoy the shit out of Nier Remake, and really hope people play Reincarnation, because I'm always excited for whatever Yoko Taro has to tell us story-wise. Now, I don't think I've watched this trailer. I think this is the Automata trailer, so I haven't actually watched this yet. I feel like I haven't heard 2B's voice in a while. I swear she sounded different though. It's a very quiet trailer. So yeah, if you don't know, this is mostly going to be a turn-based action-y sort of game. Kind of like Sinnoh Alice in a sense, but it looks a little bit better in terms of just the combat's a little more focused. There's less targets. But yeah, I'm just happy for more Automata content. But I fucking love Nier, so I'm gonna play the shit out of this. I hope I do play it more than Sinnoh Alice. I was so excited for that game, but it just ended up being just a pretty generic gacha game, and I don't really have time for generic gacha games at the moment. But, you know. Yeah. Grand Zella teases Disaster Report 5 already in development. So Disaster Report is well a long-running series now, but 4 was not that long ago, I'm fairly sure. So the idea of a 5th one being announced is pretty weird. I haven't actually played a single Disaster Report. I've watched a couple of them, and I am kind of excited to see more. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. Hey Lolly, how you going? You're tired as fuck? You had an exhausting Christmas? That's probably a good thing. If it's an exhausting Christmas, that usually means a good thing. I'm pretty tired too. I'm kind of feel like I'm recovering over the past few days, but it might be just because of all the junk food I've been eating. But yeah, we visited our grandparents and went around to different shops. We were out for like 5 hours, just on your feet for 5 hours. At least you got to spend your time with your family. That sounds fun. Had a solid crimmer. So I realized that I say Christmas. I've been saying Christmas fine on stream, but whenever I'm like I don't generally say the word Christmas. I like it's like Christmas or Crimbles or Cram. I just make up words because I just get over saying Christmas, but not on stream apparently. Yeah, but yeah, Disaster Report. Looking forward to that. And we're here to this news. I'm Satan. Why am I Satan? I just like saying funny words. CD Projekt Red facing class action lawsuit over Cyberpunk 2077. This was inevitable. These generally do come about when gaming hits such a low. And this was a particularly bad low. And it's because of the fact, specifically, they lied about the console release. The thing that probably aggravated the most amount of people was the fact that the whole presentation of how the game would be on release for consoles was completely a fabrication. They did try to talk as little as they could about the consoles, but they did state that it would look or run the same on consoles at certain points, which is a straight up lie, and it was not fixed and not ready. So this is very much likely a lawsuit that CD Projekt will lose 100%. So as much as they made back the costs for their production of the game, this company is going to be hit very hard, and this was probably the thing that was very most likely to happen. And yeah, well, there it is. We're in the realm of big money. Big money be taken from big men in suits. They're gonna hustle you. They're gonna rustle you in a court of law. But yeah, and they'll probably win this. Thing is, CD Projekt Red is not an American company, so as a class action lawsuit, this might be a global class action lawsuit as well. So I'm unsure how this is going to proceed because it becomes a bit fuzzy with how laws and stuff like that. But seems like they're going to come after them, and we'll see. Yeah. I think that will probably be the last of the CD Projekt Red news we'll hear for a while, though. It'll be like, we'll see how this lawsuit goes ahead, but I can't imagine that the game will just be worked on and fixed as time goes on, and that will be it. It won't be a situation of constantly introducing new facts into the story. The game is out as it is. It's been removed from certain stores. It may be reintroduced. People are refunding games. That is all there. All the facts and everything are out there. This is mostly played out now. But I think we're at a point now with this class action. We've now come to the inevitable conclusion of this main story. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But I can't imagine anything else crazy comes out about this. outside of the last major thing, which is when something like this happens, a class action lawsuit, depending on how heavy it hits, may cause the company, especially with stakeholders stepping away from and selling their stocks, that they may start losing enough money that they might need to downsize. And you might see, instead of CD Projekt increasing in size due to having a AAA release, they actually reduce. And this is the Ouroboros effect of the AAA industry, and it's starting to take heed here. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens from here on out. Oh my gosh. You may have seen on Twitter and Discord me talk about this. This is probably our last piece of news. I was going to talk about Monster Hunter Rise with the new weapon stuff and just review some of those, but we've been going for quite a long. We've already done about an hour of news, so I might not cover that today. But this is the last piece of news I'll cover today, because holy shit. Arc System Works was working on another game. We kind of knew that we probably would be. I did not expect it to be a third-party game that they would be working on. And it is a very notable game, a very old game that I don't know how many people would actually know these days, especially in the West, which is really fucking weird. So I actually watched a leak of this, and I think this article actually has the leak as well. But there is a HD trailer, I believe, out now. This game was leaked, by the way. This is not actually fully announced, as much as they say this has been announced. They were working on an announcement. I don't know when this was meant to actually be presented, but if you know Dragon Ball FighterZ, Guilty Gear, BlazBlue, the Grand Blue Versus, all of them are Arc System Works. This game looks really, really good just off the initial trailer. It pretty much looks like Guilty Gear, but I don't know how it plays. But yeah, let's watch the trailer. Was this a HD version of the trailer? Oh, this might be a HD version. I saw a really low res version of it before. But you kind of see what I mean. Like, this kind of looks like Grand Blue, or it looks like Guilty Gear at this point. So I never played Dungeon Fighters. This, if you don't know, Dungeon Fighters is a very, very old IP. It is a old IP that is still running. I thought it closed down a very long time ago. This game has been running since 2005. If you don't know what Dungeon Fighters looks like, I'll give you a demo, because Dungeon Fighters Online? If you've never seen it, it's pretty much it's a brawler. It's like it's a beat 'em up. And it's just very flashy. It's still been getting content, apparently. You can play it on Steam, but apparently the Steam version is absolutely awful. Their art is fucking immaculate. The character designs are really good. But yeah, it's been going since 2005. People still playing it, and that's bonkers to me. But apparently they've earned enough money that they've decided to go out there and make another game through Arc System Works and make it a fighter, and that's not bad. So hey Pink Guy, how we going? We're just finishing up the news. We're just talking about the sudden announcement of Dungeon Fighters Online. So yeah, it's very anime. I believe the company's based in Korea that make it, so it's very a Southeast Asian game. But you'll notice that with all of this, when it's like they're showing off here, they're not showing off the game. There's a very good reason they're not showing off the game, because this game has severely aged. Here we go. I think it'll show in a second. But this is the game in itself. It looks very old. It's kind of like MapleStory, where it's just kind of stuck around, and there's not really many things like this, and the fact that it has just infinite content. But yeah, it's just very weird to be in 2020 talking about this game. But the game itself is very flashy, very actiony, very anime, which are all things I would consider an Arc System Works game is. This, by the way, just to clarify, is the second biggest game ever. The biggest revenue game ever. That's behind League of Legends. League of Legends and this game, Dungeon Fighter Online, are the two biggest games ever. So if you haven't heard about it, just put that into perspective. That's just how fucking big this game is. But yeah, holy shit. Hey Pork Bun, how you going? Welcome. Thank you, big guy. How you both going? Late to the raid? That's okay. You were having a sleepy raid. But yeah, getting an Arc System Works game. I'm very excited because, you know me, I like my fighting games. And this looks fucking money. This looks so Guilty Gear to me. I'm so happy. I do think like it's a good fit. But hopefully it's really fun. I have no idea what kind of fighter it is. The trailer doesn't really sort of stress what kind of fighter it is. Like, Granblue is a nice cross between of button input and motion inputs, and I think that they do really good because of that, and it's very fun. Dragon Ball kind of is still motion inputs, and I think it's just really simple and really fun. I do not know what direction they'll take this. I don't know if they're going to go full on motion inputted full fighting game, or if they're going to actually scale it a bit back for more ease of access, because it is a Dungeon Fighter is a very simple game in a sense as well. So, but one big thing is Dungeon Fighter is very pay to win, as a lot of Korean games are. So, don't know, really don't know. But I'm excited, and that was just coming out of nowhere. This just fucking came out of nowhere. But yeah, I think that'll be all the news for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. There was some weird stuff in there today. I might just double check that we got nothing else happening. But I think that might be the last thing. Yeah, I think we good. Like I said, I could talk about the Monster Hunter Rise stuff, but I feel like we've got a lot of sleepy bears today, and it's okay if I think we won't do that, and we might just jump into finishing off Astro's Playroom, because I really wanted to finish that off, because it's very cute, and it's very fun, and it has a lot of references that I think that if you're a Sony fanboy, stick around, because there's a lot of references in there that I just blow me away in it. But there's some fun tech stuff too, so I just want to see more tech, and you'll get my genuine reaction for a lot of that stuff. Cyberpunk stakeholders getting mad is something. Yeah, I think the fact that the stakeholders stepping away, stockholders, not stakeholders, are stepping away and selling off their stocks right now, and the fact that they're being hit by a lawsuit, I think that CD Projekt Red's in danger zone. I don't think they're in the danger zone of collapsing, but they might start have to cutting departments down, and that's always sad when it happens in the industry. I'm never fond of when that happens, but yeah. I thought it'd be like Genshin with its art. No. That game's very weird, that Dungeon Fighter. But yeah, that's all the news. Popping over.